Everything with these people is backwards. We'll show some examples, but you guys know this. Oops.
I'm the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can.
Dad, what? God name are you doing, you stupid little man?
That is actually a representation of these people. Totally. They're the way that they believe. Everything is backwards and inverted. Aleister Crowley was like teaching people to go backwards with their speech and their walking, do everything backwards. Okay, so now I'm going to show you this.
Couldn't figure out just what it was. Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies,
You guys know
mystery
this channel.
religions,
I love this
and
channel.
The Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning
intro's
of
the
time.
best.
But not anymore. Because there is an awakening happening, and you are
take the lyrics.
about to become
Lyrics.
a
I
part
always
of
say
it.
lyrics.
Wake
Take the
up,
words out.
because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to
face with
today's
the
show.
tooth.
I've mentioned before in videos talking about backmasking, but I didn't have an actual video
That is so
fully talking about it.
Looks
I
like
had
a
just mentioned it
Igor or
in some
something.
video exposes that I did. So I wanted to put a video out there that's
nerdy
really
kid.
important for people to know and understand, because people have heard of backmasking. Everybody's heard of Helter Skelter and how the Beatles used to backmask, but they don't understand how backmasking actually works and how it's related to the occult, and of course goes back to Aleister Crowley. Now, everybody remembers the satanic panic that occurred in the 80s, where the Satanists had to come up with this satanic panic to get people to stop looking into what was going on, because people were figuring things out. It wasn't just what was going on with McMartin and the pedophilia that was going on. Many people started figuring out what backmasking was. Now, when we listen to music, we hear it forwards, right? Our brain processes what it hears in forward motion. But what people don't know is that while your brain is processing what it hears in normal full motion, it's also deciphering what it's hearing backwards in the subconscious mind. This is how they subliminally plant seeds, through backmasking. It's a technique where messages are intentionally placed inside of the music. Examples are obviously common ones like Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. And I'll play the clip here for you so you can hear the subliminal backmasking backwards, talking about hailing and worshiping Satan. Take a listen.
I saw this already, most of this video. This does not sound like someone is happy with their lot in life. I mean, or their plot in life, meaning grave. I mean, does that sound... So here's to my sweet blank, the one whose little path would make me sad, whose power is blank, he'll give you blank. There was a little tool shed where he made us suffer sad blank. It just sounds miserable. I mean, who wants that? There's nothing appealing about any of it.
Another example of this, and I can't show you the forward versus the backwards because of copyright reasons. The forward version they won't let me put in the video. But here's Jay-Z, clear as day, saying 666 murdered Jesus. Listen for yourself.
Wait, before you scroll away, Democratic headquarters urgently needs you to sign this petition to protect
Oh,
votes.
brother. Some of these commercials, man, all of them are awful.
Now, of course, scientists and doctors, when asked about this stuff, would say, well, the brain does try to decipher messages in backwards motion.
Okay, I gotta say another thing. I was just thinking to myself, they teach this philosophy, do what thou wilt. But they don't mean you. They don't want you to do what you want. And they teach this to the average Joes out there. It's like, I mean, I'm thinking about all these people who are into this stuff. They have no idea that these people don't mean you. They just are talking about them, the ones that are in the club. Anyway, I don't, obviously I'm not condoning any of this. I'm just saying, it's just incredible. Like the fact that they want to reduce the carbon footprint, and none of those people will ever reduce it for themselves. It'll get probably even more on their end and less on ours. It's crazy.
The subconscious, but it would never happen through music. It would never happen in songs by famous musicians. They wouldn't try to do that. So they say it's all part of a satanic panic, right? To get people off of the trail, off of the scent of what these people really are doing. But like I said earlier, this all goes back to that scumbag himself, that child molesting piece of trash, Aleister Crowley. Crowley would teach his followers as one of the most important, if not the most important law in Satanism, being the lesson of reversal. He would have his followers learn and practice with him doing things in reverse. Those who would want fame, power, spellcasting abilities, demons at their beck and call, and to recognize the Godhead within as well, to know the past, present, and future, must consistently, with intensity, practice talking reverse speech, walking backwards, thinking backwards, and playing phonographic records backwards. This is a form of divination. And as most of you know, divination is not allowed. It is forbidden by God. What is divination? It's the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. That is what this practice is. In Deuteronomy 18:10, chapter 18, verse 10, there shall not be found among you anyone who burns his son or his daughter as an offering, anyone who practices divination or tells fortunes or interprets omens, or a sorcerer. So while I talk about the signs and the symbols, right, how they have dual meanings, how they make the A-OK sign, right, but we know it's really the 666, and that's why they're doing it on these magazine covers. Not everybody's just going, hey, A-OK, right? You can also look things or look for things that are done backwards. For example, Oprah Winfrey is a perfect example, right? What's the name of her studios? Harpo, Harpo. Yes, I know people would instantly think of harp, but really it's her name backwards.
Actually, Harpo
now we know
Marx,
Oprah is a Satanist, a high-ranking witch in the occult. That's why Oprah has this power.
And that's also probably the reference to the mirror too. Everything is so there's so much connection to everything, but a mirror you would see the words the opposite direction.
But this is why it's important to know this stuff, because this is mind control techniques that are used.
That's also interesting. Do you remember when the first cell phones or whatever came out? I don't remember, but you know how when you would take your phone up to and record something, the words would be reversed. Well, now they're actually going they record the right way. I don't know if that has anything to do with some kind of spell casting stuff or whatever, but I just was remembering that it used to be everything was inverted and now it's all the same direction. It's just an interesting thought.
Right, so while you're still thinking and you're watching stuff, and now you're trying to watch it in an awake state. For example, if you're putting on the news, you're trying to say, like I always tell everybody, what are they constantly saying? What's the agenda every channel's pushing? Because they're all pushing the same thing because they're using repetition. Now, this is a sneaky, subliminal way to program people. So they have Jay-Z doing that in reverse, because those seeds are being planted in your subconscious mind. They're being stored away in your brain. And they've used this before for MK Ultra, as a way of triggering people. So that's why certain songs would trigger these people to go and, you know, snap into certain states, Manchurian candidates and whatnot. Because there'd be messaging in reverse that their brain was picking up on. So these are things that we don't learn in school, right? These are things that some doctors will admit and scientists and some won't, right? Just like we hear with the chemtrails and stuff. Scientists come forward and then they get discredited for talking about the dangers and what's really in the chemtrails. And then they'll throw guys like Bill Nye, the science guy, out there to tell you that chemtrails are harmless, that global warming's a problem.
I'm sure
And
he's
anyone
a
that goes
Freemason,
against
too.
those narratives
He's
is
definitely an
discredited
atheist.
as being a Looney Tune. Well, the fact of the matter is that most
I think honestly
scientists-
that all these famous atheists are actually closet Satanists just to deceive people and teach them false.
will even admit that your brain does process things in reverse. And that's why it's such an important thing for the...
So it's 10:30 on a Wednesday, and apparently I've sold close to $3,000
Yeah, see,
in
just
sales
greed
on
all the
Amazon
time.
already.
Oh, it's like
Don't
more
believe me?
money.
Come
Oh,
around,
see
I'll
my
show
big
you.
watch.
So
I
as
mean,
you can see,
Colt, to
this world's just so
backmask,
nasty.
because it's another way for them to subliminally plant seeds. Not only because the law of reversal that Aleister Crowley was so high on and taught all of his students and followers, we know, you know, look, guys like Jay-Z are wearing shirts with Crowley on it that says, do what thou will. Do you think it's a coincidence that in his song he's saying 666 murdered Jesus? You think it just happened to play that way backwards? I mean, come on. You'll find this in a lot of songs. There's a lot of messaging. It won't just say stuff about worshiping Satan and killing Jesus. There'll be other messages in there that push agendas that we see. And that's why it's dangerous to listen to music, not just because of the mind control you get from listening it normally, like putting in a CD or putting on your iPod or listening to the radio in your car, right? And being brainwashed by these false idols like Katy Perry and all these people that they push, right? And all the songs kind of tell you frontwards the same stuff, right? They're speaking about
The
love, but they're
actual
really
album
talking about
saying
their
that?
love of Satan. They're showing you in the music videos the transhumanism agenda, the transgender agenda. But nobody realizes that these songs in reverse are just as dangerous to you. So if you are watching it on a conscious level, trying to decipher what you're seeing, you have to remember that they're also programming you the other way, where you wouldn't even realize it. It could switch a mood in you quick. It could make you feel something you don't normally feel because you're hearing a message that you don't know what you're hearing, but your brain is deciphering it. It's decoding it. And then it's planting it in your subconscious mind. And again, like all of these things, what does it go back to? It goes back to Crowley. So you'll see production companies with names like that. You'll say, where Oprah come up with Harpa? Oh, it's her name backwards. How clever. Well, that's just her using the law of reversals, right? Because they believe that they gain more power. It enhances their craft. It enhances their fame, their wealth, and all of this stuff by practicing this. And they're practicing divination, which is forbidden by God. It is forbidden by our Father. And remember, they do all of this stuff to mock. They do all of this stuff in reverse. They read the Bible in reverse. You know, when they have these black masses, they do it in reverse. They'll read scripture backwards and blaspheme God. And this all goes back to the same guy that they pretend, you know, that nobody will talk about. When Satanists mention him, they go, yeah, I don't know. You know, I guess it's not a coincidence that Jimmy Page bought his house and, you know, you got all these guys still worshiping him and talking about him, but nobody brings up the black magic and how he talks about blood sacrifice being the most important, that specifically of a child. I mean, these people are sick. So, again, remember this when it comes to backmasking. Remember that Britney Spears, all of these artists that have come through have used backmasking as a technique to plant seeds in your subconscious mind for mind control. And people say, well, how do you prevent that? Well, you prevent it by not listening to it. And I know it's easier said than done. I mean, you go to the grocery store, they got the music blasting. You go, you know, places that you actually, might have to go to get something or do something. I mean, you go get gas at the gas station. They got TVs on the pumps now playing music. So they're trying to get us programmed around the clock with this stuff. And they know that they...
I just.
That they can use things through backmasking to plant seeds in our minds as well. I hope this information you found useful. I thought it was important to just have a video out there about backmasking and the dangers of it. I thank you all for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.
All right. He also did another. I love this channel. This one is a really good video too. Actually, maybe I'll just play
You've ever
it.
had this feeling
We'll just play it.
that something
We'll just
was
do one big
terribly
one.
wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was? Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening.
Here.
And you are.
The cool thing about me recording it with my phone, if they take something down, someone else will have it. That's why you shouldn't just you need to like record it separately. Oh, I gotta take that off. All right, here we go.
To become a part of it. Wake up. Because
I just
this
love the
is
diaper
a
part,
call
man. That's
for
just
an
the best.
uprising.
I don't know why he
This
doesn't
is a
put masks
call
on.
for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Today I want to do the top 5 landmarks in America
That's the flower of
that
life.
should wake people up.
Jeez.
Now, obviously, we could choose more than 5, but the
I could
reason I
show-
wanted to do this is because I
If I
have
showed
video.
my shaman this, if I showed this other lady who believed all this stuff, I still wouldn't see it. It's like,
all of
dude,
these things.
it's in your
And I wanted
face
to put
all
it
the
together
time.
in one informative video. I know the zombies out there are more likely and more prone to watching videos that are top 5 or top 10 lists. They seem to enjoy it. So let's hope that this is the type of video that helps wake people up, because these landmarks are out there for you to see on your own, for you to question on your own.
A lot of you
When
already
you
know
see
this. I mean,
these
you guys
things,
all
you
probably
should
know a lot of this
question
stuff,
why
but
they're there, why they exist in this
good
country,
reminders. That's how I
why
look at
they're
all of it.
allowed to be here in our country. So I present to you the top 5 landmarks that should wake people up. Number 5, we'll start at the Bohemian Grove, the statue of Moloch. Now, as you'll see in the photographs here, we have some bizarre, creepy people standing in front of it with torches lit. If you're not aware of what they're doing, they're performing a satanic ritual in which they sacrifice a human being or a child in most cases. Now, they'll tell you that it's a fake.
I've never felt so close to the possibility of disclosure.
Gaia channel,
The Nephilim,
another
the
deception.
giants. You can't make up.
Sacrifice, which you
There's
also could
some
have seen
truths,
on the
but,
television show
yeah.
House of Cards, when they showed you in plain sight that this really does exist. Now, who would be at such an event? Well, the most powerful people in the world, that's who, would be dressing up in cloaks, performing rituals such as the cremation of care, a ritual in which all their cares are now gone.
Oh, I just thought he just said the ritual of care. I wonder if that's what the CARES Act. It's like a ritual nod to their CARE Act. Do you guys follow what I'm saying?
And they can do without
When you
wills
start
out in the
putting all
woods,
these pieces
including
together, it's like nothing will
disgusting,
surprise you.
disturbing
I'm
sexual
sure
acts
everything
that are
means
performed with
everything.
prostitutes, which are brought in, homosexual activity, pedophilia, all that type of stuff. You've got presidents in the past, such as George Bush, Nixon, Reagan, many of them enjoying the Bohemian Grove, as well as people of power in all types of industries that control the reality we exist in. Editors from the New York Times to CNN to the Washington Post to NBC Nightly News, all of these people are there. I wonder why. Is it because they're all rich and successful? Well, it's all because they're a part of the same brotherhood. And they're there plotting the future events that they're going to create and occur. So the Owl of Moloch is there for you to see. If you're unfortunate enough to ever get inside of the very well protected and almost impossible to get inside of Bohemian Grove. Number 4, the Denver Airport. 58.3 million people on average pass through this airport every year. And the hope is when 58.3 million people pass through a location like this, that maybe they can see the truth, because the Denver airport, which is a landmark in itself because it's an
So weird,
airport,
that's
it's
the
not
year
a
my son
monument,
was born.
but on the inside you can find all sorts of monuments and paintings depicting the New World Order, telling you what the future holds, yet people just walk by aimlessly. Because nowadays people are more likely to buy a watch, a Rolex, or a Coach purse inside of an airport, believe it or not, because the airports are now stores. It's like going through the mall when you go through an airport. But 58.3 million people go through there, and you can only hope that maybe they would stop and smell the roses. See something such as this time capsule, scribed with the Freemasonry symbol and the words New World Airport Commission, which sits right in the middle of the airport. If you're not aware, the
I
Freemasons...
just can't. I cannot get over how nobody knows anything about them. Like, every time I've talked to people about them, they don't ever think anything. It's just. I remember I had these these clients, and this is when I first was waking up back in 2016 about the connection with Jehovah's Witnesses and them. And the woman got mad at me. She grabbed something out. She starts telling me about all of these great people, Benjamin Franklin. She just was going off on me. And I was like, oh, brother, I can't, some people, they get so mad at you because all you're trying to do is just show them something different, and because you care, and they get mad. They get... I mean, she literally kind of hit her hand on the counter out of frustration with me. And I was like, okay. All right. Just leave it alone then. All right.
A secret society. For those of you who have heard of the quote-unquote Illuminati or the elites or of a New World Order, well, the Freemasons are one of the branches of these secret societies. And just about everybody, whether they're in a satanic branch of the New World Order Covenant, or they're Jesuit, or they're a Zionist, at some point they go through the ranks of Freemasonry, where they're taught that Lucifer is the god of the world.
2094. Okay, so by then they're hoping to have us like less than a bill, less than a bill on the plant,
the god of the earth, and they give their devout worship to Lucifer, while also believing that they're gods amongst us who are here to control us. So that sits in
I don't know how
airport,
anybody could
as
think that
well
is so
as the mural
awesome.
that everybody
The
has
rainbow.
seen,
That's Noahide law.
which, I mean, it speaks for itself, does it not? Did some artist just say,
disgusting.
this would be great for anybody who's heading from Denver to Newark Airport?
Yeah,
this would just
underground
be nice for
tunnels.
them to see before they get on their plane.
Yep.
The slaughtering, the death of children and people.
Sheesh.
While this man with a gun and a mask stands over them with a sword. This is supposed to be
And it has
a
a
normal
piece-
painting that is supposed to reflect
Dove.
art.
I think dove
That's
means
what they
something
want you
different to them.
to believe. It reflects the future and the New World Order, just like the time capsule says. And of course, underneath the
Oh,
Denver
yeah.
airport,
I can't remember
what do
what
we
they said
have? Well,
about
we
that.
have massive underground operations occurring. But people are told, hey, this is just your military doing basic things down there. Nothing to worry about, folks. Trust in us. When in fact, there is trafficking going on underneath here. There is smuggling of all sorts of drugs and things going on underneath here. And nobody questions any of it. So coming in at 4, the Denver airport. Number 3, the Washington Monument. Now, most of you have seen this symbol before because it's not just in Washington, D.C. that
There's
this
the
giant
mirror.
obelisk is erected. You'll see it all around the world, including in Vatican City. Now, the obelisk represents Baal's shaft. For those of you who don't know what that means,
Balls.
it means
shaft.
Satan's shaft.
Yeah.
Phallus worship.
He's very proud of his manhood.
Because that's what they're all about. Now, here's the coincidence we're supposed to believe. The Washington Monument's
So
dimensions.
silly. I mean, I've known about this for a while, but it's still,
Are
every
you
time I hear these
sure?
kind of things, I'm like, dude, seriously.
555.5.
You know what they say?
feet.
When you see a guy who's got a huge truck, they're always saying this person's lacking something. They're not, catch my drift. Yeah. So I guess Satan's lacking something too. That's why he has Little Nas do lap dance.
Tall and 55.5 feet wide. Now you might say, well, What does that mean? That's not too suspicious. Well, being that it represents Bull's shaft, as it's supposed to, right? Do you find it a coincidence that if this represents Satan's shaft, that it is 6,666 inches?
Washington homeowners, if you have a power meter like this on the side of your house, you can qualify to erase your energy bill at no cost to you.
Really?
By getting solar panels installed with no cost up front,
Really?
you'll get your power from the sun.
What about a smart meter?
What that's going to do for you is make your power meter run backwards.
Oh, backwards!
Credit
Oh.
on your electric bill, so you never have to pay.
Oh,
again.
there's the
Plus,
backwards
you'll get
ritual.
paid for all the excess power.
Is in height
Can make it go
and in
backwards.
width, it is 55.5
I bet you guys will be
feet,
singing backwards, man,
which
backwards,
equals
man.
666 inches. Coincidence? What do you think? This is how they
I think
operate
not.
in plain sight. The dimensions are deliberately there. This is a satanic monument, and of course it reflects off of water, which is always a common theme that you'll see. Reflecting off of water. You'll see most of these monuments reflect off of water. That represents as above, so below. That's why you always see these reflecting pools. So number 3, the 666 by 6,666 inches tall Washington Satanic Bull Shaft Monument. Number 2.
Ball shaft.
The
That
Statue
just
of Liberty.
sounds so wrong. Is it
Quite
Bale
often seen in
or is it
every
ball?
single movie which will show or depict
Sounds like he's talking about
New York
testicles.
City, or will be something about America, the pride of America, and that this is a symbol of freedom. Well,
I probably can't even say
the
that
Statue
word.
of Liberty isn't
I mean,
quite what you think, because it's the statue of Isis, and it was a gift from French Freemasons
but there's
in the
such
year
great
1884.
people.
Oh, we're hearing of Freemasons again. What a coincidence. I think not. The French Freemason
Looks
who
like
designed
Mary
it,
almost, and it also looks like
displaying the hidden hand
kind
of
of like the
Freemasonry. You can see in
Baphomet,
this
too.
photo another symbol which I've exposed. They operate through these hand gestures and photos all the time to communicate with other Freemasons and other Satanists, because that's really what these people are. The statue of Isis is more Egyptian garbage that is pushed in the United
People
States
just
of America and
people
around
cannot.
the world. Of course, Isis
Why don't you
is
wake
waiting
up?
for her beloved husband.
Can I get some other people that are just
Osiris,
asleep?
who
No, the
happens
people
to
that are
be
asleep come on and attack
coincidentally
me.
the
That's what
father
they
of
do.
Horus. And what do we know about Horus? Well, Horus, the all-seeing eye of Horus, wink, wink. Have you ever seen that symbol before? Yeah. So this is the statue of Isis, which sits here in America. It has nothing to do with American freedom. It has nothing to do with anything other than this Egyptian satanic god worship. That's all that it stands for. And coming in
it's a
at
dude.
number 1, no surprise here.
Androgynous.
The only surprise should be that this thing somehow is still up and nobody has smashed it down yet, but it is surrounded by cameras around the clock, and that is the Georgia Guidestones. Yes, the Georgia Guidestones,
That
which
no
are
one
up
seems to
in
care
Elbert
about.
County, Georgia, which is in the middle of nowhere, which is clearly on an axis line. They
surprised
wanted to
every
build this
time I say something to
specifically
somebody,
on this axis
certain
line
people,
at this axis
Nothing
point.
registers.
So what is it? Well,
So crazy.
it's their commandments, the commandments of the future, of what they
just
believe the
feel like
world should be like. Should
they're
we
like
go
a
through
rock
them?
stone
Who's
and I have
ready
to
for it,
chisel
huh?
away
The
at them.
Masonic commandments of the New World Order, and nobody seems to be mad that they're sitting there. Here we go. Let's read them. Number 1, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Aren't we seeing that?
With a
The
mask
perfect race, right?
in
They
a bubble.
push exercise, not saying that that's
Breathing
bad.
in your own crap all
Not saying
day.
being healthy is bad, but this mindset of perfection.
You know
and
people are gonna be
getting those
walking
abs
balls.
that you don't need.
We're already doing
Number 3,
it.
unite humanity with a living new language, which would be the language of the New World Order. One language. Remember, it all comes down to one. Number 4, rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Of course, their meaning of fair is courts that they control. Number 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Number 8, balance personal rights with social duties. Number 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And number 10, be not a cancer
Balance
on the earth.
personal rights
Leave
with
room
social
for
duties.
nature. Well, what does that
Kiss
sound
my
like? Borderline
booties, duties.
paganism, which is really what they all believe in anyway.
Sounds like a bunch of
These
duty to
pagan
me.
Satanists, they're all one and the same. But remember, folks, maintain humanity under 500 million, which means population control. And nobody seems offended by it.
Can't
and
anybody
nobody's
see that
allowed
this is just
near
a reflection
this
of the Black
monument
Mirror?
or this statue. If you erected this of Jesus Christ in your front lawn or of the 10 Commandments, somebody would run it over with a car, right? Because we've seen that happen many, many times. But nobody would get arrested for it or get in any trouble. Yet this sits and nobody cares. So those are the top 5 monuments I've come up with. Obviously, there are more. You can look no further than the One World Trade Center, which stands with the pyramid up, the pyramid down on each side, the as above, so below, reflecting off of water, which right behind it, of course, the Oculus, which is what? The Phoenix Rising. So that's another one that I threw out there that is there as well for you to see. But there are many more, but these are the 5 that should wake people up. They should look at it and say, why is this here? What is this? But instead, people just walk by like zombies, especially in the Denver airport, not finding anything suspicious about any of it. Not finding it suspicious that grown men get up and dress up in robes and cloaks, politicians and people of power out in the middle of the woods worshiping an owl. No big deal, right? Give me a break. I hope this has helped some people out there. If you weren't awake, if you are, obviously you're somebody who's aware of these things, but it's always good to just remind yourself that these things are out there and they exist. It's a good way to show people, to wake them up. Hopefully you share this video with people to help wake them up as well.
And I think I was not listening for a second, but I've seen him already talk about it. But the Oculus, I saw another video and they were saying how he said it Rise of the Phoenix. That's what they're saying. It's like a bird, but it actually is, Oculus means eye. So it is an eye. And if you look at whoever designed it and it reflects off of water or you mirror the image, it looks like an eye. Well, apparently that every 9/11, it opens for the same timeline of the crash. So every year at that time, it opens, and only during that time. What does that say? I think that says a lot, really. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.